so let's go ahead and get started on advanced email features. As I was saying that this is my third installment of my email series. The first one was Email Like a Pro, and the second one was Organize Your Emails. All of these were created because I hear you guys. So if you hear anything that I mentioned about previous events that we've had, I recommend going to our YouTube channels because we have all of our YouTube videos from story time to our digital literacy. So if you go to our channel under playlist, you'll see something called digital literacy, and you'll see all of our past events. So let's go ahead and get started. Advanced email features. There is more to emails than send, receive, delete, or reply. Knowing how to use the various email features will enhance your productivity and communicate efficiently and effectively. So you can use your emails in school, in your personal life, in your work life. And don't forget, you can have more than one email. So if you want to have different emails in different areas of your life, you can do that. And you can have in different services. And that's something that I have learned throughout this whole research and programs that I've been having, that some emails are better for one thing than the other. So it's all about asking yourself these questions about, how do I want to use these emails? Who am I sending these emails to? So always keep those questions in mind. And also with these advanced features, they can help you achieve it. So they can help you have a better communication with the people who you're sending these emails to. So why use advanced email features? Well, you're going to take full advantage of the features of your email provider. So think about it as your phone. Especially if you have a smartphone, it has a lot of capabilities to it. And if you're not using it to its full capacity, like you're just using it as a phone, as a like calling or text messaging, then you're not using the whole thing, and you're really losing out on what it can do for you. So you're also creating an effective and engaging emails. Another thing that I often hear is, it's not like writing a letter. It's a lot more personal. Well, with some of the things I'm going to show you is you can make them personal. You can add a lot more personality with your emails. So yes, we are moving away from from writing letters, but you can still have a more personality, add more capabilities to it, to have them to be more effective, to be more engaging. But I'm also going to show you some tips and tricks to have your emails work for you. So take, for example, an assistant can often help you. Well, you can make your email your assistant, and I'm going to show you how. So topics that we're going to talk about are using CC and BCC. And also keep in mind that we're going to go from very simple features to more advanced features. So we're going to talk about using BCC effectively, inserts, filters, create an email template, automatic replies and schedules, and undo emails. So these are going to be like birthday reminders or a snooze. And also knowledge management. So these are notes, to-do list, and reminders. So I'm going to open up the chat really quick because I want to hear from you. As I mentioned, that a lot of the content that I have created is because I've heard from you. So what email feature can you not live without? So if you're someone who already uses emails, and what feature is it that you like, or what feature are you curious about? So in case I missed anything, because we are going to talk a lot about different features, but I can't cover everything, but I love to hear from you guys. So if you guys want to add in the chat and just see what features you guys like to use, go ahead and add it. Oh, like, is there a feature that you like?
A feature in email?
Yes.
I love filters
Okay.
and I like folders because I like to keep my inbox clear, so I always file things
That's
away.
awesome. Yeah, my favorite email feature is the pot, like it slows down my send, so it delays it. That one's my favorite because I am the kind of person that will write an email and then I'm like, oh, I forgot something, and I have the delay, so it delays my email. So I like to use that. So a lot of these features are going to be about looking at yourself and see how you can become more effective. So I see someone says search, the search feature. Yes, how you can search your email. So if you remember a store sent you a coupon and you can't remember what date it was, but you know it was recently, you can write the name of the store and search it. I see someone else put folders, draft emails. I really like saving draft emails as I
Oh, I
work.
agree with the draft emails. So useful.
I see someone said email attachment. So yes,
A couple of people wrote private messages. Somebody said boomerang,
boomerang.
which is I think what you were just talking about. It's a similar. I think it's an app that you use to schedule emails in the future, and also emails that are going to come back to emails to yourself or emails that will come back to you.
And I actually talk about that more in my organize your emails, where you can snooze or boomerang an email, that meaning that you don't want to see an email at that moment, but you want it later. So yeah, thank you everybody for all your feedback. So I can't wait to look at what you guys said. But if there are any questions that you guys have, go ahead and add it in the chat because at the end we're going to have our Q&A. So thank you everyone for your input and thank you Ole for participating. So what email services are we going to use? We're going to talk about Yahoo Mail. And what I like about Yahoo Mail is that it's very simple and it has a lot of storage. Unlike Gmail and Outlook has a limited amount of storage, but it has a lot more capabilities. So these are the things that I'm talking about where you're going to ask yourself questions how you want to use it. So knowing Yahoo Mail has a lot of storage, I would probably want to use this as my social media junk mail. So anything that's social media related, I could have it at that Yahoo Mail. But if I'm using it for school and I like the notepad and the reminders in Gmail rather than Outlook, then I'll probably use Gmail. Um, for work, we all use Outlook, so I'd rather use Outlook. So you're just using, you can use different emails for different purposes, and we're going to talk about the different features and how they're displayed. So thank you, everyone. So how to use BCC. Now, keep in mind, not all emails are created equal. And some things are going to look different and some things are going to look the same. But even if you don't have any of those three providers, you can use the same ideas and browse through your email provider and see what they have available. Go ahead and close this. Okay. So CC and BCC. CC stands for carbon copy. It publicly displays other email recipients attached to that email. So this is a great way to keep people in the loop. That means that you're sending an email to a person to be informed of the email, but they don't have to take any action they don't have to take any action. So let's say for at work, I'm talking about a program and I need someone to bring me books for that program. I can notify the manager of that library, but they don't need to take any action. They're not the ones who have to bring me the books. The children's library, most likely, whoever booked me for a Make Mo program, will most likely be the one taking the action. However, it's always good to inform other people at that library about what's going to happen. So it's about keeping people in the loop, but you can also use it as introducing other individuals or organizations involved. This is great for collaboration. So let's say I have an existing program that I'm creating with another librarian, but I forgot that there's actually a third librarian part of that program. That person who I sent the email to can send me back an email as a CC with the third person saying, I'm including so and so in this email because they're also part of the program. So it's a great way to introduce them without them having to introduce themselves or take any action. So this is great for collaboration. So this is one of the best ways to use CC. And now we go into BCC, also called blind carbon copy. These are other email recipients that are hidden in the email. This is great to protect the privacy of recipients. This is also useful to send the same email to multiple recipients. So if you've been to one of our programs, you know that at the end of like the following week, we send a follow-up email that will include the link to our video and other resources. This is a vast email that we send out, but we use BCC to send these out because we usually have like around 30 to even over 100 emails. Imagine sending an individual email to every person. That is a lot. So we can use BCC, add all the emails in that field, and you guys won't be able to see each other's emails. You will only be able to see in the to field or in the CC field. So you'll see you'll see my supervisor's name, Oleg, and then CC, you'll see my name or any of my fellow Makemo librarians. So that way you know that I was the one involved in the program, but it's actually Oleg who is sending the email, but you can't see any of the other recipients. So that is how we can use BCC. So in order to access these fields, you'll usually find it in the right top corner. You'll see it labeled as CC/BCC. And all you have to do is click on it, and it's going to drop down the fields. And you can see it here, CC, BCC, and then the subject line. And right here at the bottom is going to be your body of your email. And if you click on it again, it's going to hide those. And Gmail and Outlook will use the same thing. CC, BCC on the right corner. And the same, it'll fill out the fields. And here it is on Outlook. All you have to do is click on it, and it's going to appear on your new message. Right. So filter emails. This was Oleg's favorite, I believe. Yes. This is where we can create folders or labels.
Yeah, this was my favorite.
So you'll use, if you use different emails, they'll have different names for it maybe, but you'll most likely hear them called filters or rules or creating a criteria. So these are emails that automatically go into folders or labels instead of the main box. The criteria can be modified or deleted, but remember to check these folders or labels. I'm guilty of that, where I create a folder and then I forget to check it and I have a lot of new emails in there. But remember, give yourself time, give yourself patience to learn a new habit. It takes about 3 months to create a habit. So I'm the kind of person that likes using notepads, or I'll use a reminder, or you can move the folder closer to the top, or create it star it where you can make it important. That way, once you get the hang of it, and like, okay, I remember to check these emails. So you want to give yourself some time to remember to check these. So for Yahoo Mail, let me move this really quick. Okay. For Yahoo Mail, you're going to create rules under settings. So you can go to settings or right click on the mouse of the email, and you can filter messages like this. Under filter, you'll have different fields. So you here at the top, you can name your filter rule. So here I named it South Bay Book Club. It's not a real book club. I just made it up. And then you're going to create rules. You can either choose like from a person's email or to a person's email. And you just have to click on it and let them know what it is that you want to filter. So for example, for subject, if any emails that come to my email inbox and it says South Bay Book Club, it's going to automatically fill those folders. So that's why I like this. And all you have to do is fill these out. You don't have to use everything. It's just depending on what you want. It could just be subject. It could just be to. So let's say it's only the president of that book club I want to filter, not the members, but only the president. I can add from the president's email and then save. And then any emails from that president of that book club will go into that folder. For Gmail, they use the same thing. They'll create filter rules. You use the filter icon in the search bar, and then you use the drop-down menu to click Create Filter. So here is the little icon. You'll click that, and you have to integrate the fields. And it's very simple. All you have to do is fill out the field and click and save. Outlook uses the same thing, but they're called rules. And you access it going to settings, and under mail, you can click rules. It'll create a new window option for you to name the rule, the conditions, and the actions you want it to happen. And you click and save. So as you can see here, I put the name of the rule. I put the condition where the subject includes South Bay Book Club. But you can change these. It gives you different options. So you just use the drop-down menu. So you can do to, from, and then the action that needs to happen. Here I have it where it says move to book club. So this is my folder that's already existing. And all I have to do is fill those out. If you do want to learn more about organizing your email, again, I encourage you guys to go to our YouTube channel. Under the playlist Digital Literacy, and you'll see my program on organizing your email. And we talk about a lot more other things. So inserts to enhance your message. As I was mentioning, that it's a lot of the things that discourage people about emails is that you can't make it personal. But I'm going to show you a few things in order to add a little more personality to your email. So we're going to talk about attachments. That includes pictures or documents, how to insert links, using emojis or GIFs or GIFs, and using signatures. So with Yahoo Mail, they'll have something called attachments, and you'll click down here at the bottom where it is the clip, the paper clip, and you can attach documents, spreadsheets, slides, PDFs, or pictures. What I also like about Yahoo is that it can, if you have an existing Google Drive or another type of cloud software called Dropbox, you can integrate it to your Yahoo Mail, so you can grab it from your Gmail as well. Another thing I like is that you can attach files from a recent email. So for example, let's say my supervisor, Oleg, sent me a picture, and it's an outdoor event, an outreach event that I did with another librarian from another library. And I want to share it with them. So I can start the email and send it to that person, and then click attach files from recent emails, and I can grab it from there. I don't have to necessarily download it to my computer. I just can grab it from the email attachment. But of course, I can also attach files from my computer. That means the documents or pictures that are integrated in my computer that I've added and stored in the computer, or it could be an external flash drive or an external hard drive. These are devices where I can store more documents that are not in my computer, but on an attachment. I mean, a separate device. Okay. What I also like about Yahoo Mail is that they have something called Stationery. So this is kind of like a digital greeting card. And you can use one for every day, birthday, or seasonal, and they have a variety of options. This is how you can add a little bit more personality. So let's say my very good friend from work just came back from vacation. I can send them a little greeting card saying, welcome back, or or something like that. It's good to see you. And it just adds a little more personality. What you do want to keep in mind is you want to make sure that the receiver, the recipient of that email, is able to look at these images. So sometimes people have them set to like don't display pictures. So you want to make sure that that receiver can view your image. So it's very important that you don't add important information here. So here is just season greetings, hello members, a quick reminder about our annual potluck. So it's nothing important in case it's missed. So you don't want to use these for sensitive material or something that's urgent. So next, the thing that I like that Yahoo Mail has are GIFs, or they're also known as GIFs. These are little moving pictures. This adds a little more personality to what you're writing. So believe it or not, I get nervous still doing these programs. I have been doing them for over a year, actually maybe 2 years, and I still get nervous. So this morning, I could easily send an email to any of my colleagues at work and say, I'm nervous. And then I can add these little moving pictures and say, oh my God, okay, it's happening, or a little nervous little puppy, and it just adds more personality to your email. And it's all about the receiver understanding how I'm communicating. It's not just, oh, I'm nervous. Like, no, I'm puppy dog nervous. That's how nervous I am. So it's all about making it fun, making it a lot more personable, but you can add personality to it. However, you can't use gifts for everyone. You always want to think about who you're sending the gifts to. So I have colleagues who I do consider friends, and there are colleagues who I'm a little more professional because they're probably managers. So it all depends on who you're sending it to. But there is a middle ground, and that is why I like emojis. Emojis, oops, too far. Emojis are those little images that are smiley faces. It has a sunglass, or it has sad face or a worry face. So let's say I'm emailing a manager who I've never done a program with, I've never met them, but I'm really excited to go to their library because I've never been there. So I can send an email saying, I'm going to your library to do this program. I'm really excited. And I can add a little emoji happy face. It's enough to show how excited I am and to show a little bit of emotion, but it's not also not using an emoji. So you always want to think about who you're sending these emojis to. But they work very similar to GIFs. Another thing I really like are links. And they may seem simple, but as a receiver, the person who's receiving these links, they make a world of difference. So let's say, for example, I'm the president of my book club, and I'm going to send a mass email to my to the members, letting them know to check out LA County Library new fiction books for December. Now, there is a difference between me saying, hey guys, check out these books. They themselves will have to go and do the work, go to LA County Library, find the link, find the page, versus let's say I make a link. So here is where I copy and paste the web page of that new fiction of December book list, and then I can modify it to make it say whatever I want. So this is something I typed. And then if you click on that phrase, it's already a working link. So they just have to click on it. So as a receiver, I am more likely to respond faster and not forget, because the person who did it did the work for me. I don't have to look for it. And sometimes they even give you a sneak preview of what that page looks like. So this is why using links are so useful. It makes it easier for the receiver of that email to respond and to understand what you're talking about. So links are a great way to communicate what you want your reader to understand, what you want them to do. And you access it by using this little chain here at the bottom. Yahoo Mail also has the ability to do signatures. So one thing that stuck in mind when I did my first program, because I talked a little bit about a signature, and I remember I remember someone who attended our program who said, "Well, I'm unemployed. What if I don't have anything to say?" um you always are somebody. You could be a parent, you could be a loyal customer of a company that you're emailing them to. It's all about, signatures are all about making a brand of yourself, and that includes your email, that could include your phone number, that could include any social media. So it doesn't really have to be a title. It could just be a way for the receiver to be able to contact you. So always consider who you're sending these emails to. So let's say, for example, I wanted to email my bank. I can tell them I have like a customer since 1999. Yeah, I've been a customer for that bank for 1999. So you can put that. You can put your email again. So it's all about making yourself, no, making a brand of yourself, but that can just be your email too. What I like about this too is that with Yahoo Mail, they only give you one option to have one type of signature. However, once you create it, it's not set in stone. Once it's embedded into your email, you can delete it. So let's say, for example, this email is actually for, um, let's say this email is actually for my daughter's soccer team. I can delete President South Bay Book Club and put Stacy's mom. Or let's say I'm the soccer mom, I can put Shark Soccer Mom. So that's how you can change things. None of these are set in stone, but with others, you'll be able to have more than one, and we'll talk about that. And I'm going to talk about a lot of things will have the same thing. So Gmail does have attachments. They'll have a paperclip, but they'll also have links for their Google Drive, and it directly connect to their Google Pictures. What's important to remember is that if you're using Google Drive, you have to have material in Google Drive in order to use it. So as you can see here, I have no documents in Google Drive. So I may have clicked on it, I may have access to it, but if I don't have any materials in it, then I can't use it. And the same thing is for Google Photos. You have to have pictures in Google Photos in order to insert pictures or documents into your email. What's something to remember is with Gmail, they use the same storage. So they have 15 gigabytes, I believe it was. And they share the same with Google Drive, with Google Photos. All those servers uses the same storage. So that was only one of the downsides I didn't like about Gmail. But Gmail does have emojis, and all you have to do is click them right here at the bottom, and you'll see they have different themes. Gmail again has links where you can type in the name of the web page, but here you can copy and paste the web link. Gmail also has the signature, and to set it up, it does give you more than one option. So remember how Yahoo, you can only have one. With Gmail, you can have more than one, and you can give them names. So if I want to use my librarian signature or my PTA signature, you can have more than one. All right. And here it is displayed, and all you have to do is click on the little pen. You can access your managed signatures here. You can choose no signature, or you can choose easily right here. And again, none of these are set in stone if you want to modify a few things for like temporarily. Outlook Mail again has attachments. You can attach using the browser, browse directly from the computer if you have a cloud service location, or you can upload and share. They also have a feature where you can click directly on the picture icon, and it'll connect directly to your folder for your pictures. They also have emojis. What I also like about this is that you can search the emoji. So let's say there's like a pizza emoji and you don't want to browse through everything, you can search for it. But again, they have different themes here at the side. Outlook has where you can do the links as well. And there is very simple where you just type in the name and then at the bottom copy and paste the URL. Outlook also has it where you can do signatures, and again, you can have more than one signature. And here it is displayed, and you create them in settings. So making it quick. This is actually one of my favorite ones that I am going to use once I go back doing my Migmo programs. So I used to do a lot of different programs with different librarians and different libraries. And at the end of the day, what I would do is I would send them an email of all the stats, anything that happened, any pictures, and it took a lot of my time. So using templates will save a lot of time. It will also, you won't be starting from scratch and you're going to create consistency. So unfortunately, with Yahoo Mail, they do not have a function called templates. You can't do it. But after doing a lot of research and learning a lot, I'm like, wait, I can just do it myself. It is going to be manual, but you can create templates. So all you have to do is you're going to create a folder called templates. And then when you're ready to fill in that folder, you can label it as book of the month suggestion. So here I have it called, I just say, hello, South Bay Book Club. Here are some suggestions for the next book club. So this is my draft. I'm going to send, it's a draft, but I'm actually going to send it to myself and save it in the template. That way, when I'm ready to send it every month, all I have to do is copy and paste it and it's already good to go. All I have to do is add the emails. I don't have to redo Hello South Bay Book Club. Those little moments save so much time. And you don't have to, you're less likely to make errors too, because you already know it's good to go. With Gmail, they do have templates. However, you have to enable it. So if you go under settings and you click on advanced, you're going to see a list here. And under templates, you're just going to click enable and then you're good to go. When you're ready to create your draft, you're going to write your email. So here you can see I have South Bay Book Club, submissions for the next book month. And you can see I leave it very bare. That way it's easy for me to fill out later. So for next year, I would like to read option A, option B, option C, and all I have to do is write in all my book suggestions. Then I click Save Draft Template. And when I'm ready to create my email, I'm going to click here where there's the three dots. The three dots are also known as kebabs. I found that out earlier today. Is it's more options. It's a menu bar that gives you more options. So you click there and you'll click on templates and it's going to it's going to give you options so you can choose to insert the draft that you had created. So here's for South Bay Book Club. All I have to do is click it. And now all I have to do is fill in the blanks. So it already says hello members. I can just delete where it says blank month and put the current month. So next month is March. I can just type in March. And here I can put all the book titles. This is also a great way to use links. So I can give the book recommendations to the members, but I can also have a direct link to LA County Library books. And it could give them the option to put the book on hold. It's all about making it easier for the person who's reading it, and they're more likely to respond. Outlook templates Theirs is also very useful because they not only save your templates, they also make recommendations. They like you can set it up where it can read your email and it'll give you suggestions. So let's say you write an email to your colleague, hey, do you want to have lunch? Outlook will have recommendations where you just says, yes, I would like to have lunch. And all you have to do is click on it. You don't really have to think. You don't really have to write much. You can maybe do a few minor recommendations, adjustments. So let's say I'm running late. Right here, it says I'm running late. Let's say I want to write the exact time. I can just click it and then write right afterwards about 15 minutes. And it just makes it easy. You're less likely to create errors, and it just saves a lot of time. So that's why I like using templates, and I'm going to start using them. Making it work for you. So these are automatic replies, scheduling, and undo emails. So if you don't have an assistant, you can have your email. So let's say you want to remember to order a pizza. You can email yourself at a certain time that tells you, hey, order the pizza when you get home. So that is how you can make your email work for you. With automatic reply, with schedules and undo emails, you can respond to emails while you're away. You can send emails at your convenience. You can set up reminders and you can create delays or undo an email in progress. So with Yahoo Mail, you can create an automatic reply and you create them under more settings. But I'm going to share a very funny, very true story that my supervisor, I told him that he's gonna love this story. So I do a lot of practice runs. Before I do a presentation, I practice. And I was practicing on Saturday, and we got to this section, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to send an email to my supervisor yesterday, which was Friday. He wanted an email at the end of the day, and I forgot. It was right at this moment. I was practicing with my colleague, and I was like, oh no. I was like, give me a second. I know what to do. I can schedule an email. And so when you schedule an email, it dedicates a time and day when this email is going to send. So this is why these features are so useful. So with Yahoo Mail, they have automatic reply, or they have it called a vacation response. So let's say I'm going to be away during this time, and if someone emails me, it'll tell them that I'm not here at the moment, I can't respond. But if you need to contact someone else, you can contact them here, or I'll get to you when I can. So this is a great feature. Unfortunately, Yahoo Mail does not have scheduled emails. They're not available, but you can create a pending folder. So let's say you can label a folder send on March 13th. So any emails that you want to send on that day, you could create a folder for it. However, that also means that you have to remember, and it's because it doesn't do it automatically. Another thing is that you can't undo emails. That is also unavailable. With Gmail, you also have automatic reply, and it's all about filling in and choosing your dates. What I like about Gmail is that you can choose to who receives this automatic reply. So you can check mark here at the bottom, and it's only people who are in your contacts who will get this email. This is great for privacy if you don't want people to know you're on vacation or that you're out of town. So it's only people that you want who will know, who are privy to know. And here you can choose the date and time on when you want to schedule an email. So remember when I mentioned that I can choose, I have control over when this email is sent. So I'm off on Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, I'm off on Sundays and Mondays, but my supervisor is in on Monday. So let's say I want him to get the email right when he walks in. So I can choose that Monday, 8 a.m., my email is going to be sent and I'm in the clear. What's funny is that the next day, Oleg was like, "Hey, you used the schedule, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Yes, I did." But this is how scheduling email is great because your email is not going to be at the bottom of the emails. It's going to be at the very top because you're going to choose when it's going to arrive. What I also like about Gmail is that they have a delay and you can choose the delay by 5, 10, or 20 seconds. So what this does is when you click send, it's in progress of sending. So you can delay it. And then let's say you realize, oh, I forgot to put the books. Let me undo it really quick. And here at the bottom, I have an enlarged version of what it looks like. It's actually a lot smaller. It's about in this area where the tree is. But you can just click undo and then it'll give you a message saying sending undone. So this is what I like about undo emails. Outlook, unfortunately, does not have automatic reply. It's unavailable. The weird thing is that this is the free version of Outlook. It does say, please try again later. I have been trying again later for a long time and it still shows unavailable, unfortunately. But if you do have Outlook, continue to try and see if it becomes available because automatic reply is very useful. Outlook does also have, oh wait, I'm sorry. The other one was, oh yeah, I did say. The other one was automatic reply, and this one's schedule. You can schedule with Outlook, but you cannot click at the top. So you have two ways to send an email, one at the top and here at the bottom. If you notice the down menu, it'll give you two options to send and send later. If you want to schedule it later, you'll click send later, and then you can choose the date and time when you want it to send. Outlook also has the function of undo, but with an Outlook, they have it from 0 to 10 seconds. Those 10 seconds make a big difference. I am so guilty of forgetting to put an attachment or forgetting to put pictures. And usually I click send and I'm still looking at the email and be like, oh, I forgot to put the attachment. I can stop it and I can add the pictures afterwards. However, this is a big difference. Undo is a big difference from retracting. You can't retract an email that's already sent. It has to be in progress. Now we're going into knowledge management. These are your notes and to-do lists, and these are very helpful in order to keep everything in one place. Now, future programs, I'm going to be working on knowledge management based apps. But if you already have an email, they have capabilities in order to do this. So instead of having different apps all over the place, you can just have it in one place. But these are a lot more basic. So these are various email features to manage your daily tasks, ideas, or reminders. So these are your notes, tasks or to-do list, calendar, and contacts. With Yahoo Mail, they have your calendar and you'll click on it. It's on the top right corner and you can click on the calendar and it'll feature this calendar right here where you can create an event. And if you click on it, it'll tell you what is happening on that day. Oops. They also have your contacts. So it's the little person icon. So you can add and search all of your contacts. Oops. And then we have your notebook, your Yahoo notebook. This is where you can add your different ideas or if you wanted to create a list, this is a great area of having it, but it's very simple. There's not a lot of bells and whistles, but it's easy to have everything in one place. Gmail has a little more advanced features, but they still have a calendar. Their notes is called Keep, and they have something else called Task, and your contacts. What makes Gmail a little extra is that they have something called the Google Workspace Marketplace. So you use the little plus icon. And for example, WebEx. Let's say you already have WebEx. You can add it to your Gmail, but you have to already have the service. A lot of these services are paid services. So in order to add it to your Gmail, you do have to have the service, but not all of them are paid. Some of them are free services. So it's all about exploring. So these are things that you can add to your Gmail. That way it's easy to access. Okay. Gmail also has notes, but again, it's very simple. You just click on it and you can add your different notes. What I like about it is that you can pin your notes. So like, let's say January, I want that one to stay at the top. I can pin it. That way it doesn't get lost in all my other notes. And of course, we have tasks. So if you're the kind of person that likes to have tasks, I'm the kind of person that likes to do like post-its, write it in my like what I'm going to do today. But if you're the kind of person that likes to have it all digital, this is a great way to use it because it's already part of your email. And if you're kind of person that already checks your email, it's all in one place. Outlook has something called Meet Now. So it's a function where if you want to talk to people who are part of Outlook, you can choose to use Meet Now, or you can also use Skype. You can those are two options in order to have a phone conference or a video conference with someone. Outlook also has something called Onenote. Again, it's very simple where you have access to all the notes. They do have their own separate app, but you can embed the app to your Outlook as well. They have another thing called Task and Calendar. So you can create all of your tasks, things that you need to do, but as well access to your calendar of what is going to happen that day, or if you need to schedule an event. But there's more. One thing I like about emails is customizing your layout. And that could either be the color or a theme or the layout. So for example, Yahoo has a default setting and it's going to look like this at the top. But let's say I find that really boring. I want a little more vibrancy. I like it darker. I can choose to change it. The reason why I suggest customizing it is because you want to add personality to your email. But if you have more than one email, you want to make them distinct. So here is my favorite color. And maybe this reminds me of my family. So my Yahoo Mail is more about my family. And I know when I see green, I see my family. If you've been to my other programs, you know that I love colors. I love labeling things with different colors. That's how I remember things. So if I see green, I see my family. With Gmail, they also again have these options and you access these all in your settings. So you just click your settings and here is the defaults. And here I changed the colors. What I like about this one is that it changes with the weather. So if it was raining that night and there was thunderstorm when I took the screenshot, and it actually reflects it. So I love this one. But again, you can choose different themes. They have a variety of themes. Outlook again has like dark mode, focused inbox, and you can change the different displays. So here with Outlook, the default setting has everything to the right, but what if I like things to have more of a list? I can change it. So you're not married to any of these settings. You can always change it. That brings me to explore the email provider settings and what other services they offer. I am only touching the surface, and I talked a lot about advanced email features. So explore your settings, explore what you're able to change, but do not worry about possibly deleting anything. It's very hard to delete your email, and it'll tell you, are you sure you want to delete your email? So there's a long process before you think you're deleting something like your email, but you can always go back to your default settings. So if in case you did something you didn't like, you can go back to how it was before. You're not married to any of these. It's all about understanding what it is you like. A lot of people like using darker tones or they like more vibrancy. So going to show you an example. So here's my white background on the default, but let's say you like more of a darker tones, you can change it right here using the dark mode. So it all depends on how you want to use it. And of course, we have our library resources. We have Emily's post Manners in a Digital World, Living Well Online, How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age. They have a great section about using emojis. Kill Reply All, Modern Guide to Online Etiquette from Social Media to Work to Love. And of course, we have our reference services. If you need more information, speak to a librarian. You can call us. You could check your local library and you can call your local library to ask questions. You can text us Monday through Friday from 12 to 6. You can email us. And of course, Instant Librarian from Monday through Friday from 12 to 6. And all of this can be found at lacountylibrary.org/contact us. And now we get to our survey. What new email feature did you enjoy learning about today? Another thing that I remember that I did not talk about is take your time writing your email. When you write your email, I always suggest starting with the body first and then start inserting the people who you are sending it to, any attachments that you're missing. Yes, I should take my own advice because I'm very guilty of that. But you always want to do the body first, make sure that's correct, and then start inserting all the things that are missing, the to, the subject, the attachments, and then you want to read it again. Another thing I always recommend is email yourself email it to yourself first. So that way you can see what it looks like and you can be the person who's receiving it. So it's always good to do that as well. All right, so I see a few people like the attach file first and the body. Oh yeah. Oh, the plugins. You guys like the plugins? Yes, the plugins are a great feature. And setting rules for moving emails to folders. Yes. So if you guys like the rules, I talk more about it in the organize your emails, and I talk more about other amazing features in order to organize your email. So if you want to check that program out, I recommend it, as well as other amazing programs that we talked about. Oh, like, am I missing anything in case they're sending it to just you?
Well, there's I mean, quite a few people have posted what they've learned during the program, and it's the things that you talked about, the personalization, the
Mhm.
filters, if people have set filters. Um, there are a few questions that we can cover, but the customization, that's a good one. And people are saying that
The
they're looking forward
templates.
to the YouTube, the templates. I use
Yeah.
templates all the time. I mean,
Mhm.
that it's a really big thing. I actually for out I don't use it. I have in my I use Microsoft OneNote, which you mentioned briefly. I
Yeah.
use it. I have templates for some emails that'll copy and paste into emails, so I don't have to rewrite them if I'm going to be sending similar emails frequently.
Yeah. So, but that's something to do. Keep in mind that the more templates you have, the more it takes up of your storage.
Yeah, but it's just
Yeah.
text, so
Yeah. It's not a
it's not
lot,
really
but
it's pretty
yeah.
negligible for the most part.
Hmm.
So let's cover some questions because we didn't have that many today, but I mean, I guess now is the time. If you have questions out there, now is the time to put them in the chat. So let's get to what we did have. Uh, Now, a few people have mentioned the confusion that sometimes arises when there's a chain of emails. So,
Mm,
emails go back and forth. Uh, Sometimes people will include all of the previous emails, sometimes they won't. So how do you avoid the confusion of a whole bunch of emails in one email chain?
so that is a great question, and that you have there is a function in order to do that, and that is in you go to settings, and when sending, you can but it's the person who is sending the email. As a receiver, you can't really control it as much. But if you know that this conversation is getting long, it is kind of your responsibility to make sure whoever's receiving your email that is able to understand what you're emailing. So once it becomes very long, the email, you can change it, the settings where the attachment isn't shown, or your email is going to be a top. So that's what I mean about exploring your settings. You can change it, but it is your responsibility as the person who is sending it to make sure that your email is understandable, and that they can like they won't get confused, because yes, I've seen those emails.
And there's one more thing I wanted to mention about that. Um, is that when you are forwarding an email, think really hard about whether you want to include all of the previous
Oh yeah.
emails that came in with that email. So, for example, if it's just a piece of information that you're sending to a whole bunch of different people who are not relevant to or
Mhm.
not related to anything that came before, then please just take it and delete all that stuff that came before, like all the other people's email addresses, all of the kind of the message stuff that isn't relevant, and just keep the message, because what it ends up happening is that you forward an email and then you have this long chain of other
Mhm.
people that got the email, a year ago, and that's not really necessary for anybody. And it's a lot of visual clutter. So I would
Yes,
say to avoid that.
that's a great way to call it, visual clutter, because the message can get lost. And it's happened a few times where someone sends me, there's so many emails, and then they're like, "Oh, did you remember this?" And I'm like, "No." It was like it was in the
Yeah.
email. I'm like, "Where in the
Yeah.
email?"
Well, people are talking
So
about chain emails in the chat, and so so there was a question about how to change. There is actually a way to change the original subject line. In Gmail, I think
yes.
there actually says edit subject line. You can double click it and then you can actually change it. So you get rid of all the forward, 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 forward thing,
Oh
and
yeah.
just have the message itself.
Yeah, that's what I like about emails, is that things can get modified. So like let's say the chain started about something else and then it moved on to a different subject. You can modify it into the new
Yeah.
topic. Yeah. Because you still want the people involved. Maybe it's like a subtopic of the main
Mhm.
topic, so you don't want to lose it. So you can always change and modify the subject line. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I got a really quick answer to questions. That there's in Gmail, when you archive an email, does it count towards limited storage space? It does. All emails count against storage space. So if you archive the email, it does count against storage space.
It doesn't show up on your main inbox, but it is archived in a different file, in all
Yeah,
files.
so it's there. But you're able to find it. So but you can delete the email that sends it to the trash, and that
Yes.
way it'll eventually be deleted from the trash, and then won't get count against your storage.
Mm-hmm.
So so when you insert files from recent email,
Mm-hmm.
uh, does that have to be from the email service that you're using? So if you want to insert a file into your email, it says insert email from file, or insert file from email, and you're on Yahoo. It's only within Yahoo, right? You can't insert files from like your computer.
No, yeah. So it's like, let's say I'm on Yahoo and someone using Gmail sends me an email. It's only the recent emails that I've received that I can grab it from.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they can't pull that from outside the system.
No, you have to be in your Yahoo Mail, and it's just emails that have been received, and they have to be attachments.
Yeah, and here's a question that it gets a little bit in depth, but really important, because I think that people this is requested pretty often from, especially when doing tech support and stuff like that. So Beatrice asks, how do you take a screenshot and then attach it to an email?
So that depends on your computer. So remember how I said I got a MacBook and I'm like, how do I do a screenshot with my MacBook? It's not like my PC, where I used to just push, I used to click, wait, I used to push the window, shift and S. Like it was so easy and I can control where I wanted to copy and paste. So I would just do that and the computer will remember the picture and I just click paste on wherever I need it. And then I can click a right click. So if I did it on a Word, I can right click and save that picture. Or I can click on, because it'll pop up in the side screen, a little picture, and I can click on it and save it from there. But I have not learned yet on the MacBook how to do a screenshot. So I don't remember how to
That's
do
that's
it.
that's a Google search away. I'm
That's
gonna find out how to do it. Let's see, screenshot. I'm just searching for it right now because this is the way that I
Yeah,
learned. Because there's so
yeah,
many different things that you don't know, and some simple things like that little shortcut key, like keyboard shortcuts, those are always
yeah.
on Google. So
And
actually,
I
take a
remember
screenshot on
like
your Mac.
I used to use a MacBook and I'm like, I can't remember.
Shift Command 3.
Shift Command 3.
I'm
Oh,
gonna post a
wow.
link in the chat right now. This is
Okay.
not gonna be a problem for anybody in the future.
Oh my God, I just did it.
You took a screenshot?
I did a screenshot. And yep, it comes out here at the bottom. If can you guys see that? Can you see it, Oleg?
Uh, can I see it?
No.
No, because I think you're just sharing your PowerPoint.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's so cool.
Learning happens all the time when
You
you have your
learn something new
when you open your
every
mind.
day. But I literally got this computer, I got this laptop on Tuesday and I was able to play with it yesterday. And today I'm presenting the program. And so I'm always learning.
Mhm.
You guys saw that I had a little trouble in the beginning, but little by little,
It
always give
happens.
yourself time to learn, you know. And so yeah.
So, so how do you take a screenshot? It depends on the computer, but you take a screenshot when you are able to take the screenshot, then you just attach it to an email. So within a new email, you usually press the little paperclip and then go wherever you saved that image and double click it, and it will upload, which means it goes from the computer into the email, and then it'll be uploaded. Um, yeah, so that's the straightforward way. But however, depending on the computer, you take screenshots differently on different computers, so we'd need a little bit more information.
Yes.
So next question, discuss spam. How do you check your spam, and how do you allow mails to not go to spam?
So we talked about that a lot in the Organize Your Email YouTube, and last week's he talked about it too, huh?
I talked about it not last week, but the week before.
The week
Lawrence
before.
probably talked about it last week. I mean, I talk about spam all the time.
Yeah,
It
but
seems like it comes up
spam,
frequently.
yeah, but spam is very subjective. But what's great is that your email will have a, what do you call it, an algorithm?
An algorithm, yeah.
Yeah, that will automatically recognize spam. But let's say, I mean, with filters, like things get through. So let's say you keep getting an email from this person or this organization, you can label it as spam, and then from future emails, it'll automatically go into that folder. So spam is also subjective because what if it is something that you want? You can also change that. I'm like, hey, I do want to get that email. It's not spam. So it all depends. And you can always unsubscribe to emails as well.
So somebody had asked if we could tell them the way to take a screenshot on a PC, and I happen to know how to do it because I use Windows. And so on Windows, you press Shift, the Windows key, and S, and it brings up a snip thing.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
like
gonna type
using
I'm gonna
that.
type that into the chat.
I
I use
like
it all the
using
time.
that. I like using that one because you can do the screenshot where you can click, your keyboard will have a function called print screen. And you can, but it prints, I mean, it takes a picture of your whole screen. What I like about Shift Windows key S, I mean, the S, is that you can choose where you want that picture. So let's say, for example, I just want the LA County logo here at the corner. I don't want the whole thing. I can click Shift Window and S at the same time. You do have to click it at the same time, and then I can choose just to take a picture of this or the whole screen. So that's what I like using about that shortcut. So you can either use print screen on your keyboard,
Mm.
or I wonder if you guys can see it, because here's my wireless keyboard. Can you see? Oh,
Yeah, yeah, but you have to hold it up close. Yeah. Now it's not anymore. Now it's just your finger. No, because you have the background on, so
oh,
it's not coming
oh,
through anymore.
it's not coming through. Okay, but there is a function on keyboards that have something called print screen, and you can
It's
click on it.
usually at the top right-hand side of the keyboard.
Yeah.
Sometimes it says PRT SCR, or it says
Mhm.
just print screen.
So print screen does your whole screen, and then later you have to make modifications on like on the settings of the,
Mhm.
what do you use? What, on the photo edit?
In the photo editor,
And
yeah,
so yeah, yeah,
you
the
can
photo
cut it
editor.
down if you need it. If you
Yeah.
need to, you can crop the image.
But what I like about Shift S is that it just takes a little snapshot of where you specifically want
That's
it.
Windows key Shift S.
Windows key Shift S. Yes.
It's really I use that. I use that pretty much every day.
Yeah, I use that too. And I'm like, oh yeah.
So we had a question about signatures. So when you put a signature in your email, is it just a printed name, or can you create one that looks like cursive?
Yes, you can. Let me go back. Here we go. So if you can see here, you have all the tools that you need in order to write your signature. So you can change the font. This right
Mhm.
here is your font button. You can change it, the sizing. You can change whether you want it bold, italics, underline. You can
And that
change the,
looks like all the way on the left-hand side. I think you could put an image also, right?
yes, you can also include an image. So this is very much customizable. So
So
if you
if you
want,
have an image of your signature,
mhm.
you can actually throw it up there.
Or if you have a logo, let's say you have your
Yeah.
own logo, you have your own business, you can add your logo right there. So yes, you can definitely play around with your email signature. And here it is on Gmail. You can change the background. You can add a picture, you can add a link, you can make a list. So this is very much customizable of however you would like to do it. And here it is on Yahoo. Too far. Oh, I don't have the settings for, oh, here it is. Here at the bottom on the right. So this is your preview, and this is where you write it. And here you can change it. You can add emojis. And here are the three dots, or also known as kebabs, where you can, it adds
Wait,
more
what?
menu.
Hang on a second. What you said, also known as kebabs?
Yeah. So you know how
What?
the three lines are called hamburger?
Yeah.
This
Those are called a kebab?
is called a kebab.
I never knew that. It doesn't. Now that you mentioned it, I can't unsee the fact that it's like a shish kebab. Wow,
Yeah,
I've
so
learned something new today too.
I learned that yesterday. But yeah, so the three dots are also known as kebab, but that gives you more options. That those three dots are about more options, or those three lines, the hamburger patty, that it means more options. So it just expands the menu.
Yeah, Kathy says I think it's kebab if it's vertical and ellipsis if it's horizontal.
Ah,
No, because it's I think the ellipsis is three dots like if you're writing text, but if it's like three dots as in like a settings options, like an icon, then it's kebab.
I think it would be like kebab vertical if I'm holding it,
That's
kebab
true, yeah.
vertical if I'm eating it.
I like it's time for lunch. You mentioned pizza earlier, and I was like, I need to send myself a reminder to order pizza. Let me
Okay,
see. We have a few more questions. I want let's cover a few more.
sounds good.
Um, so we covered that. Actually, this is. I think this might be a question that we end on. I mean, we can stick around for a few more minutes for those
Sure.
who have more questions. But actually, this is a great question, and I want to spend a little bit of time on this. The question is, how can I get over my fear of messing things up while learning?
It's funny you mentioned that because last week I watched this on TikTok. I like watching this 3D printer lady. She does a lot of 3D printing, and they one of the viewers had asked her, um, "How did you learn this?" And she's like, "Making mistakes." It's so true. You learn by making mistakes. You learn, you just have to keep moving forward. And at the end, she said, um, how did she say it? You make errors, but you move forward, something like that, she said. And you just keep moving forward. So if something doesn't work out, you can always go back to how it was before, or you can try something different. So I'm actually trying something different. If you know me, I love using colors. I love using pens. I love having notebooks. Give me one second. I'm going to show you guys one something. So when I create a program, I have my notebook. I have like a lot of information that I write in here, and it's all in here. But do you know how many times I'm like, I can't find my notebook? And I'm like, oh my God, where did I put my notebook? Because I'm at home, I'm at the library, I'm all over the place. And sometimes it's like, oh my God, where's my notebook? And all of my notes are in there. So we had a meeting about what future programs we're going to do. And I saw on the list something about note taking. And I'm like, hmm, what if I create my, what if I start doing my notes digital? I am a writing kind of person. I love writing. I love drawing. So I have been exploring different apps about note taking, and I found one that I like, and then I've been having fun using it, but I've been trying out other ones as well. But it's all about exploring different options. It's just like when you buy a car, you don't just buy the car that's right there. You're going to explore, you're going to do your research. I take a lot of like when I'm buying food, like I'm looking at the reviews, like I'm making sure I'm going to like it. So why wouldn't I do the same thing for like a new app that I'm going to use or a new product that I'm going to use? Give yourself time to get used to it. Remember, it takes about 3 months for it something to become a habit. So I'm going to allow myself time to get used to digital version of my note taking. So right now it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. Going from a notebook to digital, but I also love the idea of all my notes being in one place. And one of the hardest things was like I'll write things down and then I still have to type it out and to create the content versus now it's going to be digital. All I have to do is copy and paste. I don't have to retype things. So give yourself time to learn a new service, to learn a new product, to learn a new habit. So um, yes, it is scary, but once you give yourself a chance, it's not so scary anymore. I was very nervous doing this program with the new MacBook, and I'm like, should I do it? Like, what if I mess up? What if something goes wrong? Well, something did go wrong, but I stayed calm. I know I have trust in my moderator, Oleg, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna log out really quick. I already knew by me logging out, he was going to entertain you guys, that he was gonna stall, you know, right?
True, true.
True. Yeah. And it's something that we already talked about even before. I let him know, hey, I'm trying out the new MacBook. I might have problems. Oh, and just in case something does go wrong, I have my old laptop ready to go. It already had my PowerPoint ready. It already had WebEx ready. So if I really can't use MacBook, I had a backup. So yes, I was nervous. I was scared to do this program, but I had to try it because this MacBook is pretty awesome.
I'm glad you like that computer.
Me too.
I would agree with you, and I would just piggyback at everything that you're saying. I've been teaching computers for many, many years, over a decade. I've been teaching computers, and fear is the biggest barrier to people learning about computers, because the most important thing you can do is actually use it, actually practice. And so many people that I've worked with, both as a group and one-on-one, have asked me, what happened? What if I break it? I don't want to break it. And the truth is that unless you pick up the computer and throw it on the ground, there's
Yeah.
very few things that you can do to your computer that will break it, that
Mhm.
will do something that's completely irretrievable, completely unfixable. And
Yeah.
if you're just trying an email things within your email, the risk is just so low. And I think just understanding that almost everything you do on the computer, the risk is so low
Hmm.
that you needn't be afraid. You needn't be nervous. Just try things. And if you're not sure about what you're trying, email us and
Yeah.
we'll try to help you.
Yeah, and just like how we did with the whole like screenshot, look it up. Go
Yeah.
on Google, go on and type in your question. How do I do this? This is how I learned a lot of things creating this program. And I'm like, how do I do this? How do I schedule an email? Can Yahoo do this? Because I was doing my research about Outlook because I was like, why can't I do schedule an email on Outlook? And it says I should be able to, but for some reason it just I wasn't able to. And I even asked other colleagues, and like, hey, can you sign up for an Outlook account and see if you can, like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I need to enable something, but I have yet to been able to do it, but it doesn't mean I stopped looking or I
Right.
stopped trying. So yes, you will make mistakes, but it's all about learning from those mistakes. Oh, that's what I was saying. Learning forward or something
Learning
like that.
forward.
Learning forward.
Good. It's
Like
good
you,
enough.
yeah. And you just
Maybe failing forward.
failing forward. That was it. Failing forward. Teamwork. Or failing upward, but they're both the same. Um, so it's all about learning from your mistakes and then, and you might even make the same mistake. How many times have I said, I forgot to put the attachment? There are so many times.
Everybody does that.
Yeah, that Oleg will send me back like, "Hey, you forgot to put your attachment." I'm like, "Right." And actually, it just recently happened. I sent an email report about my monthly narrative, and you sent me back an email saying like, "Hey, remember to include these people." I never forget to put these like my other supervisors, and I forgot that time. But it happens, and it's all about learning by your mistakes and getting feedback from other people and like, hey, why don't you try this? I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me try
Yeah.
that.
When learning tech, it's all about you're always learning. And I mean, both you and I have been using computers for a pretty long time.
Yeah.
I would say that we're intermediate advanced computer users.
I
And
would,
I look things up on Google every day.
yeah.
I look up how to do things every day. So, some people are beginner computer users and they feel like they're like this is just a huge world that they'll never conquer. And
Mhm.
the truth is that very quickly with practice, um,
This makes perfect.
anyone can learn to do the basic things that you do every day.
And another thing is don't be afraid to ask questions because I'll raise my hand. I'm like last week I was moderating for my other colleague and I didn't understand the question that a customer had asked. Like, what is the eyeball in when you're putting in the password? And I was like, what are they
Oh, yeah.
talking about? What eyeball? And then finally, um, the presenter, what's his name? Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Lawrence mentioned he explained it, and I was like, Oh,
Yeah.
that's what we
The
meant.
eyeball, the eyeball when
Yeah,
you're typing in a password, the eyeball lets you see what you're typing in. Because otherwise
yeah,
it would just be asterisks or little circles,
yeah.
and sometimes you lost your place where you are in the password, and you have to
Mhm.
delete the whole thing. But instead of deleting the whole thing, you can just press the little eyeball.
Yeah, and it's something I know, but for some reason it wasn't coming into me. And I could either pretend like, yeah, I know what he's talking about, and but really I didn't because maybe I'm not the only one. So I was like, what is it that you're talking about? And finally I understood and I was like, ah, get it.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask questions, because um, you never know that someone else might not know, but even maybe I don't even know,
Yep.
like I'm learning something new every day and I never know, maybe it's a new program I can create, so we appreciate all your feedback. We appreciate all of your questions.
100%, 1000%, I would say. I mean, this is a safe place to ask questions
Yeah.
because we and all the other people that are at the program understand that we're all here to learn. So,
Yes.
all right. Adriana, thank you so much for sharing these email features with us. And thank you everyone for being here and asking us questions and patiently listening to us as we learn sometimes in the moment. With that, good afternoon and see you next time.
Bye, everyone.